Hi, this video is really going to help you learn your guitar fretboard. It's also going to help you learn your scales. So if that sounds good to you and you love improv, theory, technique, and full song tutorials even, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Let's get into this. To get the most out of this exercise, we need to understand the chromatic scale. So let's just quickly cover the chromatic scale for those of you that this may be new to, because it's an essential skill. So in our system of music, we have the notes A through G, so 7 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats again in the next octave, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. So let's lay that out so that it's easy to see along the A string, since that string starts on A. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then that just repeats again. So what do we notice about that? We notice that we have whole steps between every note except B and C and E and F. So what's a whole step? A whole step is the distance of 2 frets on the guitar. So if we grabbed a C, a D is going to be a whole step away on fret 5. And if we have D on fret 5, E is going to be a whole step away on fret 7. The only pair of notes that this rule doesn't apply is between B and C and E and F. They're separated by a half step. So on the guitar, that's a distance of 1 fret. So if we have a B on the 2nd fret, C is going to be on the 3rd fret. And if we have an E on the 7th fret, F is going to be on the 8th fret right beside it. So just remember that rule, whole steps between every note except B and C and E and F. Now we still have notes that we can play. If we have C to D, we still have a note there between C and D that we can play, but what should we call it? Well, it can go by 2 different names. First of all, we could raise the pitch, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, or we could lower the pitch, E, E flat, D, D flat, C. Notice how I gave the note on the 4th fret 2 different names. I called it C sharp or D flat. That's what's called enharmonic equivalence. C sharp is enharmonically equivalent to D flat. If we moved up the fretboard to the 6th fret, D sharp is enharmonically equivalent to E flat. 2 names for the same note. 2 different ways of thinking of the same note depending on what key you're in. That's what's going to determine the way that you think of that note. Now, let's just quickly go up the chromatic scale and back down, thinking in sharps and flats. Starting on A, we'd have an A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. We can also go down in flats. A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A. There's your chromatic scale. Now you know how to figure out all the names of the notes on your fretboard, and let's get into this exercise that's really going to raise your game. Once you've wrapped your head around the chromatic scale and you feel confident in your ability to figure the notes out, you're ready to move on to the first stage of the exercise. We're going to start with a simple scale, C major, no sharps or flats, and let's play it along the high string. And we're going to start playing different scales up and down just single strings. That's stage 1. So taking our C major scale, and we'll start it on E, and we'll just go up and down that string. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. I have 24 frets on this guitar. A lot of you probably are playing 22 or even 21 fret guitars. Just go as high as you can, and then reverse it. E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. Okay, so up and down that string. And you're going to want to do that with every string. Now, this is really teaching you where all those natural notes lie. No sharps or flats, no accidentals, just really ingrain where all of those natural notes are by playing the C major scale. And definitely do that through all of the other strings. And then start moving to other key signatures. At first, you might just want to grab another key that you feel somewhat comfortable in. Like, oh, I've played songs in the key of G, or I've played them in the key of D, okay? Play those scales. But it's going to be beneficial to eventually be able to work around the entire circle of fourths or circle of fifths, depending on how you view that. I'm a big advocate of going around counterclockwise with the circle of fourths, since a lot of progressions come from that. Even a simple 2-5-1 in jazz is just a 3-chunk slice out of the circle of fourths. But depending on fourths or fifths, just grab that next key signature in the rotation. So F is our next key signature after C. So play that scale up and down the string. E, F, G, A, B flat is our accidental in the key of F. C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, and so on. And make sure that you go back Okay, and then grab the next key signature, B flat, that has a B flat and an E flat, and make sure that you're working these scales. And once you have a handle, you should go around that entire cycle, getting a handle on all of these scales on the different strings. And then you'll be feeling really comfortable and you can go to the next stage with this exercise. And this is where the fretboard is really going to start opening up for you. Stage 2 of this exercise, we'll call this the advanced stage, is playing a scale up one string, down the next string, up the next string, down, up, down. So you're taking in the entire fretboard all in one exercise continuously without stopping. Once you get down to the bottom, you can even reverse that so that you get practice going up and down each string. Up the bottom string, down the 5th string, up the 4th, down the 3rd, and so on. So let's do that with the C major scale, and rewind this video as much times as you have to in order to play this with me. But you should be shooting to be able to play all your scales in this manner. So we're going to start with E, and here we go. And of course we could reverse that and go backwards now through that, starting on the low string. And the fun begins when you start using those other key signatures, right? F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. Go nuts, go around the whole cycle of fourths and the circle of fifths both ways, and knock yourself out. If you do this work, you are going to know all your scales really well and your fretboard. But the key is to stick to it. You don't have to kill yourself doing an hour of scale practice like this every day, but just pick a new key every day or even every other day and quickly go through the strings like that. It's not going to take long before the fretboard really opens up to you and you're going to start seeing it in a whole new light. Now, the other thing I do want to stress is that this shouldn't take the place of any other studies that you're currently doing, such as the cage system or 3-note per string scale patterns. All of those are great and you need to know them. But this is really going to help you so that you don't lock into a single position. I know a lot of people practice their pentatonic scales and they get really locked into a position, or they learn a couple of 3-note per strings that they really feel comfortable with and they really like, and then all of a sudden they don't really know, well, how do I get out of that position? All my solos are just staying in that one shape, right? But once you start seeing these scales linearly across the fretboard, it's really going to open up and you're going to start understanding how to move around. What's next after this? Well, you don't have to stop after just going through the major scales. You can go through the relative minor scales. You can go through the modes of the major scales. You can go through harmonic minor, melodic minor, practice your diminished scales, augmented scales, whatever, wherever you're at and whatever you really need practice learning, whatever scale you're working on, practice it in this manner. And it'll really beat that scale into you. It'll really beat the notes of the guitar into you, and you can't go wrong. Thanks for joining me. If you start incorporating this exercise into your current routine, I guarantee you're going to see some noticeable results very shortly. If you love this video, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends so they can be just as good as you.